are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the 5th year. Campfire Chronicles is on the air, and this year is going to be an interesting one.
Deals have been brokered.
Deals have been brokered, so we need to make sure that those deals go through. Fucking piece of shit.
You better not sold your fucking soul, Andy.
I sold it 3 ways tonight, guys.
It's a whore.
Could have told you that.
Gonna be in town.
Didn't have to broker any deals to find that out.
So this is our 5th year. On this show, we take properties and watch them, break them down again, and give them our honest thoughts. And then we go into whether or not they'd make some kind of good addition to a screen park during haunt season, whether it be a haunt or an attraction or show based on them. And that is kind of what makes the countdown to the fall go by faster, is this show through the spring and summer. Once we conclude this show, we pick a movie to do our season finale, and we turn around and it's time to start having fun at some haunted houses. We've done this show 3 years. The first time we decided to ever do a choose your own theme park, scare park. Some of the properties that were featured in the first scare park. For scare zones, we had Deathgasm, Are You Afraid of the Dark, and The Fog. Haunted houses, also Are You Afraid in the Dark. We wanted a dual thing for Are You Afraid of the Dark. The Ring versus The Grudge featured haunted houses. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Door to Door, and It all featured mazes that year. Also Dream Warriors 2 years ago. Scare zones like The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Oh, yeah.
The movie Kane and I watched on a date together. Netflix and Shield. Ghost House.
Oh, yeah, we did do that together.
Leprechaun in Space was a featured haunted house.
The best of the best, you guys.
As was Ghostbusters. As was the Hitchcock Presents House. 13 Ghosts. This was the controversial Icon year where it was determined that 13 Ghosts would be the show and a house.
And Icon.
And Cyrus, yes, was the Icon. Jesus Christ.
Little Lord run around. Why not?
Last year's 4, we decided we would have 4 icons, Charlie, last year. Scare zones were Hulu's Into the Dark. Fucking Pet Sematary.
Still like it.
Marvel Zombies. Some of the best mazes. Terrifier, Behind the Mask, Hellraiser. The show was a... What the fuck? Oh, Dr. Sardou.
Oh, that's right.
Dr. Sardou. Thank
right.
you so much, Justin, for introducing us to them.
I think actually,
Oh, that was...
I just
He just happened to
You just
know.
seconded the emotion.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
did. God, I'm glad
So
that-
this year is our 5th year. The map concept showcases 6 lands. 6 lands on this map have to have a theme.
I see 8.
No, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the black is like whatever we decide we want, like our main street.
1, 2,
Well,
3,
then
4,
there's 7.
5, 6,
There's
7.
yeah.
Okay, so there's 7. So 7 lands in the main street.
Don't even know your own map there.
Well, I thought the yellow and the orange were connected. So,
What are you
The
talking
fuck?
about?
How do you see yellow and orange?
They have a
I'm
purple in between them.
intoxicated a little bit, guys. Just don't listen to me.
God
Just
damn it.
accept the fact that I thought
Yeah,
that,
just
right?
shut the fuck up. You're not helping.
Wait, yeah, let's change that color.
Oh.
So, anyway, we have to determine what we want our themes to be, where we would want like the show, what kind of a show, like a major show and then like a B show, more of a small scale performance show versus like a huge like amphitheater type show, where we would want those placed, roller coasters, where we would want those placed, dark rides, where we would want those placed, how many houses each land should get. Should we have a themed restaurant or bar in our land? We get to build our lands from the ground up based upon the 7 core themes that we vote on. So, for instance, Charlie, wrap your mind around it. When outer space gets brought up here in about 5 minutes, everybody's going to say, except for you.
Can we also design the bathroom? Because I want a urinal where I can pee on the leprechaun.
Yes.
Pee on what?
Okay.
We're going to follow
We'll
the
get
rainbow
there.
and pee on the
We'll get
leprechaun.
there. So when outer space passes, moving forward in the year throughout summer, when we have to fill a blank in the outer space themed land, it's a movie in outer space or alien outer space theme.
He's talking about Jason X, man.
He's constantly saying outer space, outer space.
So and that goes for like whatever
How many
theme
people
each land
at
gets.
this table enjoyed Jason?
We're not gonna go there yet, right? Like we're gonna draw it out.
Charlie,
And
I
we'll
told
get
him
there
we can have a
eventually.
discussion about it, but we're not watching that fucking movie again.
You want something?
I will bring the coronavirus to this fucking house if we
We'll
watch
just,
that
like,
movie
we'll do it
again.
during- We'll do it during quarantine.
Yeah, let's not talk about Corona coming here. We do not support the spread of coronavirus
We are
or
in agreement
anything that
as state mandate.
Trump as our president.
Well,
You're doing a hell of a job, Donald. We don't. Horrific Network doesn't have any problem with anything that our government and the decisions that our government, God bless everyone in it,
Please
is
don't kick our
making.
doors in.
Yeah, just leave us alone.
Leave us alone.
So anyway, if it has to be space themed or whatever, it could be like foreign themed. Then it would all be like Japanese or like French horror films,
That's a
what the
good idea.
fuck ever.
Yeah, I like that.
So shit like that. But whatever's in that land. So we do like a foreign. Let's say we do a foreign land, right? And
Yeah.
we're throwing in like Hostel. Well, then we're like, okay, what do we want the fucking restaurant to be? We could be like, oh shit, it could be Japanese themed, like the fucking house from The Ring. And then like every once in a while, the fucking girl crawls out of the well and fucking scares you at your table or some bullshit. I don't know.
Or the fucking the TVs just flash on.
Oh yeah, the
And the
fucking
ring starts
TV
popping
crawl
up.
thing. Yeah, for
Stop,
sure.
Stop.
That's the Grudge. That's the
It's
Grudge.
different movies.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, but still, it freaks you out.
Yeah, stop.
You could have a make your own sausage.
And make your own sausage thing.
You grind your meat.
Grind your meat.
Grind your meat up and
You're gobbling your leprechaun.
Where would that be? Like
In the
Germany? Is
restaurant.
that a German thing?
be a German.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or hostile.
For like hostel.
Hostel is German. German.
You could just have
European.
someone's hand like stick
It'd be
in
like
there.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Make your own chili.
Nice.
Oh shit.
So anyway, let me introduce our panel for season 5. It's gonna be a year, starting going. No, we'll go left. So the new official number 2 in the Horrific Network, because Andrew's fucking leaving. So now my
He's leaving again.
my Riker to be in Picard, John Scott, is now on my left hand side. Welcome into the panel, John.
What's up?
I sit at the other head. Thank you, bitch.
His wife, Ashley. Andrew, for I don't even know how many episodes it'll be.
We'll phone him in.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Justin. Now there is a
You're leaving my eyesight on.
who was number 3 on Star Trek? You want to be Worf?
I feel like
I'm good with it.
Your choices are Worf, Data, or fucking Dana's kid Will Riker, or whatever the fuck his name
Maybe
was.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, Will Wheaton. So Worf is the easiest one to choose.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. So Worf.
I'm a smart enough to
Yeah, Worf is Justin. Justin here for season 5. Say hi.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about the Black Eye Club?
Oh, fuck. And then that would make Charlie. Charlie has to be like the captain that trained Picard in the J.J. Abrams version of Star Trek. That's Kirk. Train Kirk. So, no, that's who you are. You're Kirk. I'm Picard. Yeah. No. No, he's Kirk.
Kirk.
Yeah. So, Charlie, here. Welcome, Charlie.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Looking forward to season 5?
I am. I'm looking forward to season 5. I'm hiding it right now, but I
Like the concept idea.
Who's my Star Trek character?
Well, we're getting to you now.
They come to the table.
I've already got like
Take a seat.
I've got like 3 in mind for you to choose from.
Oh wow.
You're
Yeah.
a triple, Nick.
He's a badass though. He should be born.
He should be Worf. I agree.
Yeah.
Do you want Worf? Like, is your first choice Worf? Yes
I
or
didn't
no?
even think about Worf, dog.
Okay, so then you're still Worf. If his first answer isn't like, I hell was disappointed when you told Justin's Worf, he doesn't give a shit about Worf. You're Worf.
You made Justin Worf?
See, that's
Yeah.
see right there.
That's a facial
No,
thing.
he's Worf.
Justin got to choose because he was like
No.
tied with
I'll
Worf,
take Data. It's fine. I
Data,
don't
or
I heard you
Will
took it
Wheaton's
as trivia
character.
night.
Will Wheaton's character?
care. We came
No.
back 7 to 7.
He didn't choose Will Wheaton's character. He chose Worf.
Who's
Okay, so next at the round table is Justin's wife, making her debut on the podcast. Is Tracy more of the doctor or more of the psychic broad? I can't remember what her name was.
Deanna Troy? She's Deanna Troy.
Deanna Troy. Okay, so
Because the doctor
Deanna.
was annoying as
Okay, so Deanna Troy, Tracy is here. Her first podcast.
Very first.
All right.
Say hi.
And then last but not least, you get to choose between. Are you ready?
Yes.
Jordy,
Okay.
the dude who like builds the engines in the below deck.
Scotty?
In the
Scotty,
below deck?
yes. So
Scotty.
Jordy, Scotty,
Uh-huh.
or Spock.
Ooh.
Okay, so Riker, right? What was the guy? with
John
the
is
beard?
Riker.
John is Riker. Oh, okay. So what are my options?
So you are Spock. You're the original Riker, so to speak.
Yeah, alright. That's fine.
Jordy, who's like the fucking sergeant at arms, the muscle, always gonna go out there and fuck shit up.
Jordy's the...
Sorry.
Advisor guy.
Yeah.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
Doesn't it fit?
Alright.
Or
Very much so, actually.
Yeah, that's
so,
Scotty. the fucking engineer.
For sure not Scotty,
Fair.
right? Because I don't know how to do nothing.
Okay.
So, Scotty's out.
Is it right?
You're either the OG co-captain or the fucking like.
Yeah, I guess I gotta go. I guess I gotta go Spock. Like, I don't know.
Okay, so Shalita's Spock. He went with Spock.
That's good.
Yeah.
I can
But
see
Damn,
that.
so you guys
guessing it's
are
around
fucking
at the
Spock
bottom.
and Kirk.
Yeah.
You and Charlie.
Right.
Special
That's a
special
1-2
relationship.
combo you don't want to fuck with. Dog.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Is it right round?
So this year we are predicting, or we're voting on themed lands, but I've been told that John is requesting to give us a few moments of his time.
Fucking
He's
Pandora's
played
box.
5 years of effort.
So this is something that John has been working on. You have sent this to Universal?
No.
No? Okay, so.
I haven't showed this to anybody.
Oh, fuck. This is the
I
first
haven't
time
even
we're
seen
seeing
So
this.
you've been working on this beyond what we do on the podcast
Yeah.
then?
Are we about to hear this as like a pitch you would give on Shark Tank, John?
Possibly.
Okay.
Alright, let's get you a chair.
Well, without
So-
any great imagery or anything. I mean, originally I was gonna build it on like Planet Coaster or Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and let it be a virtual park for anyone to experience,
That's cool.
which I'm actually in the middle of right now.
Good as me.
What are you building it on?
Planet Coaster.
You play that game?
Mhm.
The game looks highly detailed.
It is. It's extremely detailed. And I
Yeah.
built about one of my lands, and the thing started getting way too much. Like, it couldn't handle one land.
What do you mean it couldn't handle
Like, the
it?
bit rate started to, like,
Crash?
yeah.
Holy shit.
So I was like, shit. So I gotta like reduce a lot of detail work and everything. So.
Okay, so figuratively, I'm going to tell you, listeners, as these guys can see the map in the middle of the table, basically the easiest concept that I came to mind is, and we have the capability of doing this, and we still may just for editing purposes, the whole hub and spoke layout, giving us 7 segmented lands around a central point, which we could put our icons in the middle of as we discover them throughout this season, and making it easy for all of us to nerdgasm over where we would place the haunted houses and restaurants and everything else. What came? Okay. Now, we have 7 lands. John, your pitch contains how many different themed areas?
7.
7. Okay.
Okay, we're done.
So John is basically saying he wants to end the show, and he's just going to say this for like 45 minutes. And by the way, coronavirus.
What the fuck? What kind of segue was that?
I know you guys are going through it wherever you are. I've checked our stats today. We have listeners in Turkey, for Christ's sake.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Turkey, what's up?
So we have listeners all over the world.
Hey, I'm really proud of Kane for not making any turkey noises.
Yeah, for real.
Tried really hard, man.
No matter how hard or how little you've been hit by this, which our hometown is starting to get kind of hard. Hang in there. We'll get through it. Our thoughts are with you. And as long as we are able, no matter how we move forward, we will be putting out content for you on as consistent basis
Our very health for you.
as possible. Especially with this show, because this is my favorite show of the year. But we will, the Horrific Network, the interview show, the Horrific Podcast. If you follow that show, you know I've been talking to you guys, almost audio journaling through my last semester of film school, and these last shows I've been doing commentaries of horror films. So this last week we did John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, and Jamie Lee Curtis commentating over the top of Halloween 78. And before and after, I did an introduction why this film made me a horror fan. The week before, we did William Friedkin and The Exorcist. So this, basically, I came up with this concept knowing I'm going to not have any time to try to find guests going into the last couple months of school. But then it got to a point where everyone's so fucked up because of coronavirus. I don't want to bother anyone to schedule an interview right now either. So ironic timing, I suppose. But I don't listen to every show that we do on our channel after I record it, especially if it is a solo show. After I put together like Nerd Again and I'm splicing interview clips I get sent from studios or doing an interview full length, I don't go back and re-listen to that interview. I know I probably should more often than I do.
In other words,
But
Jimmy
sometimes-
does not like the editing portion of anything.
No, I don't mind the editing portion. Like, I'll listen to it when I'm editing it, but even at that, I'm making sure the levels are more fine than anything else. If we've fucked up along the way, like, I usually edit it in the moment. So an interview, 9 times out of 10, if
Like
we're
losing
recording,
old Jason X podcast.
yeah, well, yeah, that's to blame someone who's not here tonight, but. On an interview, 9 times out of 10, the guest will say, "I just fucked that up. Can we stop?" And then we just rewind and take it from there. So you don't have to edit. They're more comfortable you doing that, and them kind of like knowing, "Oh yeah, no, I backed it out. It's gone." Like them hearing you tell them it's gone, I think is more comforting than for them to like email and or text message and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'll take care of it when we get the." Like, for them to know, no, he fucking, like, at least sounded like he deleted it right now. I think gives them some comfort. So, anyway, point being, this show, Campfire Chronicles, I always listen to, like, again. And these last two horrific podcasts especially, I also love the Sinister Creature those panels I always listen to, but these last two, these commentary shows, have been really cool. To listen to John Carpenter talk about Halloween for an hour and a half with Jamie Lee and Deborah Hill, which I didn't know they banged it out for a while, Carpenter and Deborah Hill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I know.
So anyway,
Scoop on that.
all that shit's on the channel, and this show will be on the channel, and whether or not we got word our town is locked down now, I guess, and so whether or not that prohibits us from getting together, we will record whatever movie we decide to do via Skype and speakerphone, and we'll make it work. So we'll make sure that we get this show out to you throughout this season. That's the beauty of podcasting. We don't have to be in the same room. We just enjoy being in the same room when it comes to this kind of shit. So, anyway, John, let's hear your Shark Tank pitch of your Scream Park.
All right, here we go. I know it's a jumbled mess, but you can kind of actually base it off of what Jimmy's got. So, let me pull up my book. Okay, so I have it called Horror World. And so the whole main entrance would be a graveyard set up. So then you got crypts as food stands and restrooms, creepy trees all around, fog leaking through from the planter areas, town area setting from like Sleepy Hollow, and then a covered bridge that leads to the horror hub. So then that would be located in the center area. So then we'll get into that because then that'll kind of spike from basically all the different lands. So starting off to the right, have Transylvania. And so then right away there's a giant castle. And that's the Curse of Dracula roller coaster dark ride. It's got animatronics of Dracula, bats, brides, and other creatures of the night. A hang glider style coaster to give the feeling of flying around the deepest, darkest areas of the castle. And then across from that would be the Gypsy Camp, where there'd be a bunch of other little shops and stuff, and there'd be like a photo op opportunity with Wolfman. And then next to that is the Windmill, and then Castle Frankenstein, which is kind of like partially destroyed after the events of Bride of Frankenstein. And then inside the ruins is a spinning ground ride with a brain in a jar at the center.
What are you laughing at, dog?
Started like wild, I just can't stop. Keep going, Jeff. Sorry.
So it'd just be like a flat ride spinning around with like a brain in a jar in the center and like lightning effects and everything like that. And then as you pass around the corner from that, I have like a...
Are we leaving the Monsters themed land, or are you still in the Monsters themed land? Stop when you're done with the Monsters themed land.
I'm still in the Monsters
Okay.
themed land. So then it'd be like the old London setting where you'd have the Opera House at the end, and you could actually see live performances of Phantom of the Opera played. Cool. And then also throughout the land there'd be like Miss Moffat's Meat Pies, where you could go in and get pies, as well as photo opportunity with Sweeney Todd. And then you could also have like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Jack the Ripper, and all that kind of wandering the streets as well. And then around the corner from that would be kind of like an oasis, like it's kind of turned into Oasis style. So then you have Temple for the Mummy. This is all still going to be part of the same thing.
Okay.
So you'll have the Mummy roller coaster. We'll actually have it as a Indiana Jones style ride. So it'd be a dark ride like that. And then across from that.
You leaving?
Yeah.
Hi, man.
Alright, guys. Be good, be safe.
All right, man.
Be good, be safe. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Later, Shalita. And across from that would be a creature from the Black Lagoon attraction, similar to like Jungle Cruise, but you're on the Rita, and you're going to be going around, and so there'll be like the snakes and stuff like that, and the creature constantly attacking your ship and stuff like that. So then that's all just the Transylvania themed land right there.
So I can tell you, in taking that, and not necessarily having all of his properties exactly how he lined up, but using that for an example, does everybody say let his monster movie, and we can debate over what monster movies we actually say deserves to be the attraction. Maybe it's not the Universal Mummy. Maybe it's like some other mummy or some other, like a Hammer Dracula versus a Bela Lugosi Dracula type thing. But do you want a classic monster, regardless of what take on that monster? So whatever take of Drac, Frankenstein, Wolfman, you would want. Do you want a section dedicated to those movies? John obviously says yes.
Yeah.
Ashley,
I'm old school, guys.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
love
there.
it.
Andrew,
Andrew's just waiting for the space
Andrew's
theme.
dripping
Yeah.
with enthusiasm.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm really waiting for one, maybe two things.
That just screams.
Okay, let me load.
Halloween
Yeah, it
monsters
does. I love that.
or,
Yeah.
You know, it sets the theme right away. It's
I'm bringing up the
I like
map
it.
so we don't forget.
I think that should always be part of
Could
it.
have just given me a
Scare
pen. I
part.
could have just,
Absolutely.
or I could take a
Absolutely.
It's what
mark.
all horror is kind of
Right.
based on.
Right on it.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
monsters.
Actually, my
It's all
purse.
based on monsters.
Pen in my purse.
The monsters within, the
Pen.
monsters without.
Classic
Uh-huh.
monsters. Yeah.
Now, looking at our map,
So
which,
is this our monster land?
well, that's what we're about to see. Like, which,
Quadrant.
Could
Color.
you have a restaurant?
no, yeah, we're not
It's
even.
like Jekyll and
I have
Hyde,
Van-
so like
Van
your
Helsing's
waiter
garlic
comes up
fries.
and he's so sweet, and then
He's
waiter
giving
comes
us,
back
like-
and he's a horrible
Van
asshole.
Helsing.
No, he's giving us, like, his overview of what
Yeah.
the themes would be.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. I had
But
Van
he's-
Helsing's garlic fries
Oh, nice.
in the village of Transylvania.
So he would be like, I want the restaurant or the food, whatever, to be Van Helsing's garlic fries. So there's a show. We watch Van Helsing, as horrible as that fucking movie is.
Or you watch the new Dracula.
That new Dracula was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the debate,
You have
isn't
the
it?
show?
Yeah.
They can nominate
Have you
Van
seen
Helsing, and
Yeah,
if we're
I
like,
really like it.
no, that movie's not fucking getting in, then it's not getting in.
After the boat.
Yeah.
The Dracula on Netflix was really good up until about the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
It was
still
fucking
bad.
stupid. God damn, Kane, stop fucking texting me, man.
Since those like 10 minutes.
Go, don't suck your
Like, so which section do we want? There's our map. For my editing sake, because I don't have a whole lot of fucking time to edit this fucking thing. So, regardless of how Drawn took all that time to lay his out like that, this is what's getting
Took me
posted.
15
The
minutes.
color thing. So, what color, Charlie, do you want to make the monsters area?
What color?
Which
Yeah, do you
quadrant
see-
do you want it in?
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
What's up with this castle over here on the green?
Oh, I was just fucking around. Like that's like the haunted, that's the haunted house like logo, and then I was doing like the trim thing that HHN does.
I like the idea of having it as the first thing that you.
So
come
do you
into
want it to
because
be-
it's traditional, and
Yeah.
it's what you expect, and then you go beyond that
Oh,
into
yeah.
something you
So
don't
do we
Don't
want
have
that front gate
So
area?
you want that
Or
to
the
be like
blue.
the front. You don't want it to be a land. You'd rather it be like the front.
Oh
zone.
no! I
So
wanted to. I definitely wanted to
Do
be
you
a
make
land.
the front gate thing like the Transylvania, like as you're walking in, and then way in the back, almost like a Cinderella's castle, you put Dracula's castle up that everybody can
So
see
you
it,
were
just
saying
sort of
make it the blue
overlords.
area. So you make it the fantasy land, so to speak.
Yeah.
So Justin says okay. So Justin says put it at the blue, behind Dracula's castle. Charlie, what do you say?
Well, I still like the idea of seeing it first when you first walk in. So I'd say.
So his
I like his idea. I do.
I like his idea, but to
But-
follow up with his idea, I mean, you're more or less looking at front gates being like right here. So this is enough to give you kind of that Main Street simulation and put that castle right there at the end of at the back
Yeah,
of the
you
land
can- Right.
and still put stuff around
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the castle's like here, and then the blue area was actual
The
land.
land,
Correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have to get to it. You'd have to go through Frank or
Through
Dracula's
Drax
castle.
Castle. Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
okay. So John says you say yes to the blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie?
That sounds fine to me. I still like the orange better, but blue sounds good.
Well, what's your vote, Charlie? You want it
I
to
say
be
orange.
Okay. So 2-1 blue right now. Charlie's at 1 orange. Kane?
I like the orange better. I like this stand alone instead of being the whole thing for the park.
Okay. Ashley?
Blue.
Blue. Tracy?
I kind of like the orange.
So Jimmy or Justin.
Tracy.
She's now devoted to the doctor.
So obviously the orange is bigger than the blue,
Obviously.
which when I was drawing that up, I was like, I hope I get to nominate something for the orange because I got a pretty dope idea. But
So what does that mean?
I'm like, so there's that.
So are you picking the blue because you want the orange for your own selfish reasons?
I'm picking the blue because I don't think there's a cooler idea than what would be to like
This is
walk
the
through.
first fucking round of them, dude.
Yeah, I haven't gotten through the rest of it. If you really want to hear everything.
As much as I love the
No.
idea, though.
Should we listen to it?
No,
before we
we're voting on is it blue or orange, and guess what? It's 3-3. So
As
it's
much-
actually it doesn't really matter what you
So
say.
like, does this sway you that above the castle, using pyrotechnics and animatronics and
Well, Jesus, dude.
that you can have clouds and lightning and simulated weather and just crazy stuff just looming over you as you enter into the
Holy
park.
shit.
Just-
See, but then
Would it influence
dominates-
me? Would I be
dominates the
home at
whole
like
park.
3 o'clock if my wife was like, hey, if you're home before 3 o'clock, we're going to bang it out. And we're going to have this other bitch come in and bang it out with us. Like, yeah, I'd be a little more like, I'd drive home a little bit faster. Like, yeah. So, yeah, if you put the greatest inventions known to theme park on top of what we've been talking about, would that influence me? Yeah, gee, I don't know. Like, what? That makes me want to pick orange just because of that shit. Like, what the fuck?
Do it.
But no, because I want orange to be my pick. So it's blue. The main theme,
Selfish son of a.
Well,
So
then we
you
want-
can have
that
like a-
change my vote to green.
Oh!
it would still be blue, dog. Like it doesn't matter. So you're
Unless I
fucking.
change
I don't
mine
care.
to-
You
I
have
can
a
change
rainbow.
mine to orange.
So
Change yours to orange.
blue it is.
green
Blue
or
is the classic, or you don't even have to say classic, just traditional monsters area, monsters land. So really that front drag, that black zone, I could see being like the European village. That would just be like the architect.
Transylvania kind of going.
Yeah, like the architecture type leading up to his castle, and we get into the land, and his land, I think, we need at least one like pretty like fun dark ride up in there.
We were saying the back coaster, like where you're flying around in like a. Did you hear?
No, I heard it. Yeah, I'm just.
You didn't think it was a fun?
I may have recorded the look on your face. I don't know.
So that would be like. Do you imagine that being like a big thing or like a Casey Jr.?
No, it'd be big.
So it'd be like a huge staple of that land.
Yeah.
So would you say like
It'd be
even
a coaster, a full size
Inside
coaster.
the castle?
Yeah.
That also goes out?
Yeah. It would peek outside as well.
So okay, so that's
I like that.
a huge part, but that actually, if it's built within the castle, that actually leaves you enough room to have 2 houses in there. I would think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So 2 houses, a scare zone.
Yeah, Miss Moffat's meat pies there. You know, Van Helsing's garlic fries, and pizza.
Those you could even put in front of the castle before you
I'm
got into the
hanging out
actual
there.
land.
A lot. I'm all in.
Yeah, those are all like things that you could have like in that area, in front of what the churro and the chimichanga carts are at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You've gotta have
Well, it's-
some
You could do the gypsy
blood
camp
red
and have
drink
the
that everybody's got.
hell
So
yeah.
we're
Yeah,
doing
it's-
2 houses there.
So 2 houses, I think.
Blood Marys.
The roller coaster within the castle, and then an additional like just flat track traditional dark ride of some kind that we watch, whether it be Christopher Lee's Dracula or Bride of Frankenstein, like that gives us
Yeah, I like
the
idea of
option to
mixing
watch
them
2
up.
throwbacks.
I like the idea.
Are we
one-
putting a show there?
I would say one. We have room for like one scare zone, obviously.
But
The
he
ride
had-
in the
he
two
had a
houses
theater,
that
though, for Phantom of the Opera.
I know, but that's what we have to debate about when the time comes. We got to give the people something to fucking listen.
That could
to.
be something where if we
Like, we
watch
can't
Phantom
choose
of
the whole
Opera,
thing
then we
tonight.
could be like, it would go perfect in that land.
It deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, We're like we got to come back.
So minimum, we have 2 houses
I have a
undecided.
completed
Okay.
park. We're coming up with like the
I know.
themes to kind of and then watch
Fill
stuff
in
to
the
fill
blank.
in with them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I think
2
Justin
houses.
just wants it to come alive.
I
know.
do. I'm like, I want to go.
Well, I'm glad you're-
Disneyland.
You're fucking invested. I'm glad.
2 houses undecided, the roller coaster within the castle, and then a flat track dark ride for sure,
And then a scare zone in
and,
between
and
all
one
of
scare
it.
zone.
Yeah. I think that fills up that space pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's John's first nomination. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go around and John's going to say his second one on his proposal, and then we'll say, like, Ashley, do you want that, or do you have one to nominate, like, against it? So John, so moving out of the monsters.
Okay, so we all definitely
Transylvania.
want the monster.
So the monster one is the blue chunk on our map. That front, right? So imagine as if you're walking into Disneyland, so to speak. Your main drag, instead of how Main Street is like that old school turn of the century Kansas vibe, this would be more of a Northern European Transylvania vibe, which then instead of leading you into the Sleeping Beauty castle, this one you're like walking through a gypsy village, meat pies at the end of the actual buildings, and then maybe you got like some kind of a cart to do. What was the fucking other thing? Van Helsing's thing.
Yeah, Van Helsing's garlic fries.
And then you go through the castle. You can either do the roller coaster or you keep on walking, and now you're into the haunted houses and all the other stuff. But it's all got that architecture type of the old Lugosi Dracula type thing,
I'll
regardless
design it
of
on
what
my
we
game,
designed.
and then I'll do it perimeter.
So, John, so that's what we'll do. You'll do a land proposal. Ashley can be like, yeah, that sounds good to me. Or actually, I really wanted us. Because keep in mind, not only that is it a theme in our land, it's also the movies that we will.
It's true.
Charlie, we will be watching this spring.
Charlie,
So,
I pretty much
you and I can all
cover
strike if
everything.
Jason
Yes, we
fucking
will.
comes back up.
so John,
Just
okay.
letting you know, I pretty much cover almost anything that could fit in this. So
Okay, so
Yeah, just so you know, I haven't seen Jason X.
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
More reason for us to.
No,
Because I boycotted
You
you.
lucky
you two
bastard.
watch it together. The rest of us have watched it fucking.
all right,
Yeah.
You want
So-
to put beer chair?
Oh no, good.
All right.
all right. So then, if you're back at the hub, and you on my map, you had Transylvania to your right and all that. The next entrance for the next themed area is Camp Crystal Lake, which pays homage to classic and new camp-inspired horror movies. The land is in a C shape going around a whole lake. As you enter into the camp
So almost like to pause you real quick. So it would be like the World Showcase at Epcot Center.
kind of.
Okay.
So then you have enter a campground with multiple cabins and a very large lake at the center. A large cabin to the left has a sign to signify that it is the mess hall, so that's where you could get food at and stuff like that.
Love it.
Here you can get normal camp style food like hot dogs and beans, possibly a combined restaurant to be attached to future reference, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
To the back left of the lake is a large mountain formation with multiple cabins sitting on it, and the main attraction of the land, Jason Lives, a small boat, log flume style dark ride attraction that takes you through the woods and cabins to witness Jason taking out the counselors.
Is he a person or is he an animatronic?
Animatronic.
Okay.
Lots of opportunities for guests to get sprayed with blood and stalking you. For the finale, just when it seems Jason's going to make you his next victim, you escape down a huge waterfall down into Crystal Lake. Just when you think you're safe and it's all over, Jason gets one last scare from the water.
All
and
about
then-
it. Love it. Okay.
Then
going.
have Crystal Lake canoes. It would offer up a more relaxing journey around the lake that anyone could enjoy. And then to the right side of the lake is Cabin in the Woods, an elevator drop style attraction. Enter the cabin and find the hidden elevator below. Take the elevator deeper down and discover the hidden lab and all the other monsters below.
Is this a ride?
Yeah,
Okay.
like Tower Terror.
I got you.
The crew on the other finds a way to release all the monsters, and it sends your ride on an intense up and down thrill. One of the stops would be the iconic scene of all the doors opening, releasing the monsters on the SWAT team standing by.
Of course.
The final scene could show the gods below and you escaping before becoming the next sacrifices. Inside some of the other cabins around can be stores carrying Crystal Lake merch and other camp-style movie merch. Evil Dead cabin, which would go off into the Evil Dead popular musical.
It is a fun musical.
So then that would be something there. And then I also have the lake would offer up a perfect setting for a horror movie fireworks show and go with some of the iconic themes that were created to bring some of our favorite monsters to life.
Fucking Universal just did it. So the core, regardless, so he's, again, hell of an argument, but the core thing that we're going to vote on right now, first, before we talk
Camp
about anything
style.
else, is
This one.
camp horror movies.
Yep.
So,
Slow down.
John says yes, Ashley.
Skip me, because I'm pretty much going to agree with my husband.
Okay. So, Andrew.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay. Justin.
Got it.
Sleepaway Camp.
Right?
Yeah, I was just thinking sleepaway, like, and you
Felissa.
gotta make it where you put it out there and people have that isolated feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta get them
And when
isolated.
you're talking about Jason, I was like, just a cabin in the woods. Got me.
Oh yeah, dude. Elevator ride.
Charlie.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. Love the idea.
Camp thing. Tracy, you want to watch some camp horror movies?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I also say yeah.
So I do have a proposal where it should go. I feel like this gray area would be good because then you could have that camp feel of like trees off the backside of the castle and all of this. This would be really good because you're focusing that way. You don't have to turn. Everything is focused this way. You can do all your cabins and stuff this way. Have your forest setting back here. It keeps you from looking into the other lands and keeps you focused, and you don't know what's in the beyond. So with that camp feel, the movies, they always talk about what's beyond the trees. And
I'm actually going to say I have an idea for that gray area.
well, you came up with the map. You have an idea for every fucking area on there. to be perfectly fair,
Okay.
you've had more time to sit and marinate what you would want where. But to me, when I walk into a park, if it's in the back and it's not,
Well,
if I'm in the red
I'm just worried
area,
about the lake.
I'm not shitting on the
That's so
idea
much
of having it be in the
that
gray area.
Would it need to be in the green just because of the size of having the lake and the
That's
canoe
what
and
I
the
was
ride?
thinking.
But I like the idea of
Well,
being able to sequester
but
it
you could
off.
have your lake out here and then have
You have
all
the
your
moat
cabins around
straight
it.
into the lake. That'd be sick.
Yes, I like that.
Bodies of water all connected.
Yeah.
Also cheaper to do if we're financially talking about.
Okay, so Kane.
Great.
John, where did you say you wanted it?
I have it in this top right corner.
So you have it like in the purple or the yellow. Which one of the two?
Yeah. But he'd want purple because he's got
Let him vote. Jesus Christ.
I kind of want it on the main hub just because then you can have the iconic Camp Crystal Lake sign that you'd walk into because you can have like kind of a long woods trail
Right.
Like they
to
did
get out
for
in
Lot
isolation.
Two.
Like they did in fucking
Kinda,
at WB. Yeah, that was cool.
So I
So you
mean,
put it in purple.
purple or green.
I think yellow's too small.
Yellow's pretty small, but I would hate to have other things surrounding it. So I guess probably the green.
Okay, so John says green. Justin,
Green.
2-2 between green and gray. Charlie.
The green sounds good.
Oh wow, 3-2.
fine.
Tracy. Would you want it to be in the green or the gray?
Quit pointing, Justin. What are my choices?
Choices are the green area right here or the gray area back here.
I kind of like the gray. I like the gray.
3-3 on you, Jimmy.
We know that Jimmy's gonna go with something else because he already has something planned for that area.
Did Justin say something different? So I'm
But
all-
I think he also wants
Oh, I mean, just based on that comment, it's the green one.
Oh,
Of course
you
it is.
son of a bitch.
It was gonna be the green one regardless. Let's be honest, Jimmy. Let's be fucking honest here.
I know what you want the green to be.
Yeah, no, yeah. Kane and I brokered deals
So
before.
this is the camp land.
That's the camp one. Uh-huh.
Camp land.
Just call it Camp Crystal Lake.
Camp Crystal Lake Land. Because there's a cabin in the woods technically take there too, or no?
So you have two.
Technically Crystal Lake?
How about Camp Horrific Lake?
Oh no, we haven't done that one yet.
What do you mean we haven't done that one yet?
I mean, we haven't talked about.
I'm just naming the land that.
We haven't.
Shush.
I don't know what you are talking about. What?
Just keep going.
What are you talking about, though?
Horrific. Weren't we gonna suggest a horrific?
Yeah, it's not.
You just gotta wait till I come up with a terrible idea and then go from there.
What are you trying to say?
It's just called Horrific Lake, not Horrific Land.
Yeah.
Calm your shit.
Horrific
I'm not calling
lake,
things
man.
land. There's no lands there.
Anyway, I think that there should be at least. You said 2 rides, right?
Basically, yeah. Well, technically the canoe ride, but
So I think 2 rides, 2 houses, the scare zone, and your lake show thing that you talked about. So
No
5
scare zone.
and a scare zone.
Yeah, that should be.
I think that's like a one scare zone in each land. Like
yeah.
pick your
Two rides.
2 rides, yeah. Right in that 45 minutes, Charlie. We got 5 more to choose.
And
You sure you don't want to
It's
drive?
alright, I'll be asleep by then.
The scare zone. Are we just gonna say that would be the fireworks show?
I just put one lake show.
You just put
one
yeah
lake
your
show.
lake show. That yeah.
2 houses, 1 scare zone, 2 roller coasters / rides, and then a lake show.
All right, John, your third one. Kane, it's your choice to nominate at this point, Kane. So pay attention to what John has to say. Do you want to go along with it? Do you want to nominate what your first pick would be? Go ahead,
I'm
John.
waiting for Justin to win.
He's about to talk about his third pick.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so my third pick is Elm Street. Pays homage to the most iconic horror movie houses of all time. Enter a classic neighborhood-looking street set during fall with hedges between houses and wood fences. To the right on the corner is an old 50s-style diner called Springwood Diner. Inside, get classic 50s diner food, burgers, fries, and milkshakes. And on here I have it connected with the mess hall, so it'd be Freddy versus Jason.
Nice.
Wow.
And then as
Do
you...
love that movie.
And
That's
as-
actually. Never mind. I was gonna say that's actually what the latest the commentary thing I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But it's at this point it will be next Monday. Spoiler alert! You just listened to the commentary, Charlie. They just listened to the commentary track from Jason X. Next week they get the commentary track from Freddy vs. Jason. It's a 1-2 punch from hell.
Wow. Charlie won't show up for any of those.
So then as you walk down the street, the first house on the left is 1428 Elm and home of Freddy's Revenge. Inside is a roller coaster dark ride attraction.
Can I pause you real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever done? So you know how like people post like the house thing, like in LA, like drive around, find the houses that they filmed Halloween or all that
Oh
shit.
yeah, we've gone around and been to a few
Is
of the
that
houses.
in LA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Elm Street house?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm
we've
gonna.
seen it. They
I'm
got
gonna-
signs all over saying no soliciting, please don't stand on the grass.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you stand in front of it?
Yeah, you can get out and stand in front of it, take pictures.
You can take pictures. You just can't get.
Like crazy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think after my graduation ceremony, we don't have anything to do that day. I think that's what I want to do. Go try to find all the fucking horror movie houses. In
Michael
LA.
Myers' house is in Pasadena.
Pasadena. They got the murder house from
And there's a cool little
American Horror
shop.
Story down
There's
there
a
as
cool
well.
little shop right behind it that does all kinds of like shows, like art shows and stuff of like the monsters or Michael Myers or
Oh,
whatever.
nice. It is the only left-hand side down the hallway. Okay, so we got the diner, we got Freddy versus Jason.
We got Freddy's roller coaster behind the house. So you walk into the house, it's the line cue where the nightmare begins. You will eventually end up in the factory where Freddy lures his victims and board your vehicle. During the ride, you will zoom around the factory with Freddy appearing in different forms, toying with you, including a giant Freddy glove that you ride between. Eventually, you get away from Freddy and wake up from the nightmare. And then next door to Freddy's house on the right sits the old Myers house. Inside is a store filled with merch of all things Halloween. To the right of that house sits the house from Insidious. Enter the infamous house and walk by the clock and baby monitor going off as you wait. As you get to the back of the house, you enter your ride vehicle and tiptoe through the tulips into the further. Classic dark ride with plenty of jump scares from all the terrifying characters of the Insidious series. Sitting across the street from 1428 Elm is the legendary Amityville house. Inside is a store filled with the merch from your favorite slashers and horror characters of attractions nearby. To the left of Amityville house is a cult favorite, Mr. Krieg's house from Trick or Treat. As you wait in line inside the house, you will experience hints of Sam stalking you. Of course, to the left of that house, sitting on the corner, sits the terrifying Neibolt house.
You want to take mine?
Good, pause it.
Okay, so
Everybody?
John, we're back. We're back. We're back, Charlie. Calm down. We're back. We're back on Amityville, Elm Street. John, keep going. The Amityville house.
And then next to the Amityville house, Mr. Krieg's house from Trick or Treat.
Right.
And then next to that would be the Neibolt house from It. You venture into the house and down into the sewers and board your SS Georgie
The power.
as you go on a slow-moving boat ride
Land.
through the sewers. Pennywise is constantly coming for you, and you end up in his lair to just barely escape him. And then at the very end, of the house at the end of the street is the iconic house from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Of course.
The house is used for a very long queue, sending you all the way through the house. Behind the house is a giant steel coaster with a launch from inside the house. Board in the dark and listen to Leatherface start up the chainsaw to send you off outside.
So
And then other iconic houses that could be built as just shells or mentioned: Poltergeist, Grudge, Scream, and Murder House.
So basically what this sounds like to me would be like the equivalent of Cars Land in DCA, but it is just a neighborhood or a cul-de-sac of classic houses
Yeah.
from horror movies. So we can totally debate on
Which one's
how we're about to right now, but
It would be easy for if we watch a movie that would fit in there, you build the house for it and have the maze included with that.
yeah, or have, you know, a restaurant or whatever the hell we want to do.
Which next to Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the Hewitt Family Barbecue. Inside the Blair Meat Co.
Maybe that's where you get to grind your own sausage.
So
Yeah, that's definitely.
Andrew, I am actually going to start the opposite way. I'm going to go first this time.
Oh.
So far we have, how many lands do we have assigned?
I've done two so far, so this will be the third.
So far we have the blue and the green, right? Assigned.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. So the first half of your pitch, I was like, you know what? I don't think so, because we just did the camp one. And if we're going to do like that 70s, 80s horror vibe land, we've kind of already committed to that land being the camp land, which is fine. We were all stoked about the camp land 15 minutes ago before he started talking about the horror block land right now, right? But then he made it a lot harder when all of a sudden it became clear, because at first I thought it was just an Elm Street land, because like the first 5 things you said were Freddy related.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, that doesn't, like, the camp thing's way better than just an Elm. But then we got to the fact that it was more of like a neighborhood street, like a Cars Land, that is lined with like these famous houses from Haunted House or Murder House horror films throughout the history of horror. That's a pretty dope idea.
I figured the hotel for the whole park would be the Overlook.
Oh.
And so, yeah, now John's fucking throwing out that forced perspective. The overlook would be overlooking this land. My thing is
Let him
like,
build it. Let him build it.
my thing is like, we haven't heard what anybody else wants to do because he keeps like, his first two ideas have been solid. The main drag Transylvania thing is solid. The other thing is solid.
Been working on this for a
This-
very long
This
time.
is
solid.
I know it's solid, but I'm like, now the odds are everything he says is going to be solid.
So, the
So
only thing
do
that-
we want to contribute at all to this thing? And for that reason, like, you guys could all say yes. She's already said she's not voting because it would just be an automatic yes. So now you three can crush it, but just on that perspective alone of getting someone else's vote in there, so it's not 3 in a row, I'm going to say no.
Oh, you're saying no. Well,
Fuck off. No, they don't.
if it wasn't such a great idea, I'd say no too. But I love the idea.
Okay, so
I
there's
do,
yes.
absolutely.
I'm gonna vote yes.
So there's two
With,
yes.
with one caveat. I want a hospital in that little town. Somehow, somewhere, your med station, whatever in this world, there's got to be like a little medical malfeasance place.
All right, that's up for debate for sure.
Yeah.
Halloween,
Andrew,
right? Like, you can do Halloween.
Andrew, yes
You
or no?
could, but you know, you could almost do that as another land.
Like just
could do
yeah,
medical.
the
You
only
just-
thing
I
that
hate it when
gets
you
me
go to your
about
first
this land
Yeah.
is
and
that
incorporate that.
there is a lot of stuff in this land. And so, like, I feel like
That would lead us into the season to debate what would actually, because right now we're about to actually talk logistics.
Yeah, we'd sort it out. We
But do
wouldn't
you
necessarily
want-
pick
how many
all
houses?
of those.
Okay, so like, what are our
You got to vote on the theme
facades.
first.
Yeah, that's.
You can think that the house could be a facade and you could do.
But you got to vote on the theme right
Think
now.
about,
Do
like,
you want
like he said, cars,
to
like,
enter
walking
into
down
that
street.
negotiation? Do you want to enter into that negotiation?
But we can improve that, right? But that concept of walking down the street and being in the late 70s, early 80s,
fucking-
middle America trick or treating with all of these monsters.
So,
Yeah.
Like, how do you not love that idea?
I do love it. I just feel like it's an overwhelming amount of different variations of.
When you finally go to Universal and you walk through every fucking maze and it's every 3 feet is a black wall with a
Ashley, wait, he hasn't even he hasn't even fucking voted yet. Like, hold
The thing
on.
is, you could pick pretty much any
Yeah.
any movie that would have an iconic that takes place within a house or something to do with the house.
Okay, so is this
To go
so? Is this
within
just
that
like
street.
like the horrific block?
Yeah, you could do that.
Essentially.
Okay, well, fuck me, I'm in, guys.
So then there you go. That is a
You
actual.
can even have Charlie going
Subject-
door to door to every
John.
house.
I was. We will talk about that. That immediately popped into my mind because it doesn't fucking look like we're gonna get to do our other things
I know.
at some capacity. So now, where would you put it, John? Where would you put it?
I think I'd put it in the red spot, just because then it would be next to Camp Crystal Lake or the lake or camp settings. Then you could do like, if
Dude,
go
you could
the
do some
whole-
like cool walk between.
yeah.
Oh, he also has
Neighborhoods
the.
attached
The
to
Springwood Diner and Mess Hall, which would be the one giant place to eat at, which is Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh fuck, that's
yeah, that's pretty
a good
Yeah,
idea.
it is.
Red's good.
Yeah, yes, red. Justin,
Yeah, red, definitely.
Charlie. Yeah, I
Sounds
want to
good
go
to
to.
me.
I want to eat at that diner. Okay, so Ashley,
I want to hear that.
Tracy,
That's why
yeah,
we're building
Yes.
this land
Okay.
for that diner.
So this is.
the red one is
Trick or treat.
no horror. The horrific block, yeah. Horrific Avenue.
The horrific boulevard.
Horrific Boulevard.
I
It
put
sounds
horrific
like.
Avenue. It's not a final title.
No, I was just thinking they like put these things at Enoch's that like have our last name and they have like street names. So like Avenue, like so Basra and I are like Basra Avenue and Wienholz Boulevard. That's on our classroom door. Like, fucking,
Yeah,
how
good.
douchebaggery can we get? Like,
I've been
Okay.
to Enoch's.
There's a reason why I tell the kids to go by Jimmy. Now I know my fucking last name is Wiener. Like, thank you. You know, it's like,
So the horrific avenue. what do
damn,
we
I think
got?
this is like like one of our marquees, like 3 houses, right? If we're
Oh,
gonna do
yeah.
like a Cars
Nice.
Landside strip of
3
house facades,
one ride.
3 of them should be like haunted house.
Definitely a scare zone.
Of course, yeah. The middle of the cul-de-sac would be a scare zone. So 3 haunted houses, 1 ride,
Yeah.
and then like a
One scare zone.
big ass scare zone, yeah.
That's
And the
probably-
restaurant like connecting
Oh yeah.
the camp to that,
Springwood Diner.
the Springwood Diner. So Justin, this is your turn, sir. He is now nominating his 4th themed land.
Okay.
If you are not like, holy shit, like I don't have, like, that's really cool, but keep in mind, like, he's got more like behind it.
Right.
Now we have 3 out of the 7 filled. You're like, damn, that's really cool, but actually I don't want to like risk that no one else is gonna say zombie
I
or
think-
whatever the hell
I
it
think
is.
when I'm done, there might actually be 1 land open.
Okay. So, John, number 4 is.
Okay, so number 4 is called Industrial Evil. Pays
Damn,
tribute,
Tracy is just like already just like.
pays tribute to horror movies with settings from factories to laboratories. The land is in an L shape, and each building would serve as an exhibit based on its theme and offer all kinds of interactive stations as well as food and attractions. So on the right, past the entrance, still a large factory building, is the Good Guys factory. It would be signage on the side with a large Good Guys style advertisement. Inside is a store for a Build-A-Chucky, where you can create your own Chucky or Tiffany doll and have them able to wear other famous horror character outfits. Also inside the factory is the Child's Play Wild Mouse style coaster. Travel along the assembly line that Chucky has taken over and is making more evil dolls. This building would be rather large as it would house all of this, Freddy's Revenge, and the Insidious Dark Ride, but that's just by my on the left side, just past the entrance, is Wayland Corporation, a space exhibit, a company devoted to research and development of space exploration. Aliens, the ride would be located inside a flight simulator type attraction that wants you to go explore a planet that was the last known location of the ship Nostromo. As you reach the planet in your ride vehicle, you're able to check out a complex setup. Inside, your tracking beacon starts picking up movement throughout the complex as you're attacked by xenomorphs. As you try to escape, you end up in the presence of the queen.
Question.
Yeah.
Does this ride take us to outer space? Figuratively. like
Yes, the ride, it'd be like
But when we
Star
get-
Tours.
But when we get out of the ride, is the land itself like, are we in like an enclosed area that's like space, or are we just like
It's
back?
Wayland Corporation, so it's like their whole thing is space, committed to space travel and research.
Right. But when we get out, do we like exit into a building that's just like projected outer space?
You can.
Okay.
As you try to escape, you end up in the presence of the queen and her many eggs. Your ship torches her and the eggs as you get away and make it back to base. Just when you think it's over, the power goes out, and the xenomorph is loose in your ship. Without sight, you're left to listen to it walk around you, hiss in your ear, breathe on your neck, and drop saliva on your head.
This is on the Star Tours thing still?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so we're pretending that the xenomorph ride may exit into like some kind of like space soundstage or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, basically, after all that, inside would be a store carrying merch from Aliens, Predator, Jason X, Leprechaun in Space, and other space-inspired horror. To the right of Wayland, but still on the left side of the main pathway, is Hawkins National Laboratory.
Oh shit.
It's got inside Benny's Burger as a walk-up food service option. Get yourself an upside-down burger and Demogorgon fries. Inside is Stranger Things.
Pause real quick. Did you eat any of the Stranger Things food?
Yes.
Yes.
What did you?
The Demogorgon tots were awesome.
Did you eat anything this past year?
Yeah.
You and your brother?
Yeah, we had the tots, and we got they had upside down sliders. And those were hella good.
I bought myself the cherry Coke corn dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, their food, their made up stuff was pretty good this year.
We've come to like the tradition that we always like eat at Boca de Beppo, or this year her and I ate at Bubba Gump before like walking over there.
Yeah.
But man, their food inside the event is actually pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Taco truck was the best.
That was, when they were getting the taco trucks on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Before, the first year they did it, it was like real taco trucks that they just brought in.
Mm-hmm.
That was freaking the best. So, you have Hawkins Lab, and you got Stranger Things Journey to the Upside Down. Would be the main attraction inside. A dark ride style attraction with 4 riders on a vehicle with bicycle style seating.
Oh, fuck, like
A new
ET.
ride system that allows the riders to pedal the bikes to generate power. The more you pedal, the more light your bike will generate to help light your way.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hop on your bikes and pedal through the woods to help look for Will. While searching, you get pulled into the Upside Down.
You know how much I'd pay to have my picture shot of me like riding a bicycle over a ramp that lit a background up like the movie.
Like the movie.
And like having like a little ET in my front seat.
Dude, you used to be able to do that at Universal. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of myself with ET.
It was going into the ride.
Yeah, he was. It was like a Polaroid. I'm pretty like I think like it's not even like a 8x10 or the 5x7 thing you would
Someone
get
just set it
now.
up and like came to the park every day.
For yeah, like looking at, it, I'm like, this is a fucking Polaroid. Like, how much did you pay for this?
Right.
Get it right now. It's fine.
Damn, an ET bicycle ride or a Stranger Things.
While
bicycle
there, you're
ride.
going to be dodging attacks from the Demogorgon and Demodogs. You eventually find Will confronting the Night Flare. As you pass under it, you get Will. Then 11 helps guide you back home.
Do we get to buy a D'Artagnan?
Sure, in the shop, whatever.
Yeah.
And then also in this exhibit would be Reanimator Live. Step into the observation room as young scientist Herbert West unveils his new serum he has been working on. Filled with plenty of dry humor and physical comedy, this is a show you won't want to miss.
We talked about this being a show last year. I don't remember what the debate. I think we ended up making it like some kind of a dark ride
Yeah,
or
it was
something.
the
but
black
it
light dark ride because there's so many vivid bright
Right.
colors in the movie.
That was like the debate whether it should be a show or a ride or whatever. That came up last year.
And then have Meet the Fly, a fun interactive meet and greet. Scientist Seth Brundle invites you to witness his demonstration of his teleportation capsule. He enters one capsule only to come out the other as the Fly. And then the store inside would be selling merch based on properties listed above, as well as other horror properties associated with science and labs. And then over here in this corner would be Hanader Mining Co. Sits in the back corner of the land, surrounded by forest and dropping into the gorge. The main building is a coal mining facility that is home to My Bloody Valentine mine train coaster. Board your minecart and head deep into the mine where a Valentine's Day party turns into a massacre. Harry Warden has woken and is butchering all in his path with his pickaxe. A fast-paced wild ride with twists and turns. And then next to that is the Wilson Steel Plant from Saw. Steelwork exhibit sits in between Hanader Mine and Blair Meat Co. Throughout the
It's
exhibit.
in the same land now.
Yeah. It's like all in industry, like industrial style stuff. So yeah, you would have the Saw Game Over roller coaster, a Saw escape room, and yeah, so that'd be it for that one.
Yeah, the solid escape room.
So I
Walk in and just like lock you in.
liked I liked 90% of that.
So can I just say on the Saw escape room that you combine groups, but you have plants that get in specific like traps and they get their
I had a full
limbs.
description, I just didn't want
they
to
get
keep
their
going.
limbs cut off. Like I'm all in. I'm gonna jump the gun and boat. I'm in.
Yeah. And I wrote 10 people, 5 are plants, and they all die.
I love the idea. The only thing that maybe I would take out and put in another, and I love this part of it too. I love the alien stuff, but I'd rather see that like in a space.
That's
No, yeah,
well,
no, we could easily do a whole space thing.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
But I loved everything.
But love the
that was
whole
in it.
industry,
I'm not even
idea,
saying-
Yeah, I love the
all the
idea, yeah.
facilities, the
I'm not-
labs.
I'm not
But
even
I wanted
saying
to-
space in outer space, although I love the idea of a ride simulator ending in outer space, and then you walk into another building and you're like on a space station, which leads you into an Alien or a Jason X or Leprechaun.
No, not Jason X.
Or a Leprechaun in space or an Event Horizon style haunted house attraction. I think that would be pretty dope 1-2 combination. So with that, you could do some of those industrial style, like you could turn the page, you could do an Alien style haunted house without it being in outer space. So you could do an industrial factory. The only part of your pitch that you lost me at that turnaround is the My Bloody Valentine and the Saw thing. I say you just strictly do science fiction. You could do Earth science fiction, like some fucking creepy ass movie that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, Fire in the Sky, or
Did you even hear the whole Chucky pitch?
Yeah,
The Build a Chucky?
Yeah, Chucky. I like that.
I love it.
But
Yeah,
I would put the Build a Chucky on the horror avenue. I would have that be a store on Horrific
Street.
Avenue. You can make the Good Guy Factory be a Build a Chucky store on Horrific Avenue.
I think it fits where he put it, though. I really do.
I don't, because I want the land to be outer space.
There could still be a whole outer space
Yeah, there
theme.
can still. We're still moving
If you
along.
take the Wayland,
I'm waiting for outer
you
space.
can do an outer space. Just take
You
Wayland
can still
out.
change
take
any of the
Alien-
stuff.
yeah.
in.
I'm
Take
saying
Alien
do just out like science fiction, not even outer space, because you could do Color of Outer Space, which he said he wanted to be
Color out
nominated
of
this year.
space. Well, that's true
So
because that takes place.
Any
on
kind
Earth,
of
but it's an alien.
extraterrestrial, whether the story take place in outer space or on Earth, that's what I'm saying. So science fiction horror is my nomination over what he said there.
Okay.
So, but you said yes to the industrial.
I just,
It's kind of a unique idea.
it's.
It really
it's
is
unique. I
something
like it.
themed around.
So let's
you know,
pluck the Wayland out. Go with the industrial.
I mean, there is a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah.
You can do Stephen King stuff like The Mangler. You can do, Graveyard. What is the one?
Yeah,
Graveyard
that's
Shift?
one thing I think we need to like set. If we're going,
Well, you could do
You gotta
Hostel
vote.
in there because then you
Yeah,
can have
that's
the
true.
plant there.
you got to vote industrial style, that more obscure look, Hostel, Saw, that kind of a thing that he's pitching versus outer space. Because if you did a Wayland, if you did a Wayland haunted house in that land, if I'm going to build a theme park, I'm not going to put a haunted house in an industrial land. So it'd have to be a Wayland industry manufacturing. You may walk through bits and pieces of a haunted, like a spaceship, but it's not like fully assembled type of a thing.
So let's get it out of there.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
that's the
You
way
don't
you
have to
fix it.
do Wayland.
Let's just put
I'm
it-
just
yeah.
saying, do you want that industrial look or do you want the outer space look? Is
I
what
think it's a unique idea.
I like the industrial
Like
look of this
the-
land, and then you can have outer space in another one.
Right.
okay.
That's
Sci-fi
the
outer
way.
Andrew?
I agree with that. I like industrial and sci-fi.
I'm just looking at you like that.
Okay.
There'll be room
So
for that, Jim,
industrial goes where?
Could go in this yellow spot.
But,
I would say yellow, yeah,
but
the
hold on a
smallest one
hold
available.
on, hold on. I agree with that, but if those are going to take up 2 lands, I would rather just go space land.
What are you talking about? 2 lands?
It's not. It's
No,
not
no,
even
We
set
haven't
up one.
decided yet on
Okay.
space.
Space is not fucking in this thing yet. I want you to appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying. If it's industrial mixed with my space land, I might want.
Oh, wait a
It's
minute.
not.
We're
It's just
different.
industrial.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's only
Space
industrial.
land
That's what we
goes
just
Then I know.
spent
Then I know.
the last 15 minutes talking
Then I
about. If
know.
you vote for it,
Okay, but you also are talking in circles.
Yes, because we.
How
you
much-
asked-
I'm not talking
I
about
said
that.
if it's both those, yeah. But if it's just industrial and not space, then I'm a no.
No, you
Okay.
pluck the space out. Do industrial. Throw a space
Andrew,
sci-fi land over here.
right now
I
we're
agree-
voting on
I agree with that,
only
but
industrial.
I do not want an only industrial land.
That is what we're voting on right
So
now.
no,
We still lost. We lost 3-2. I appreciate your support, though.
I try.
I know.
Actually, 4-2 because Ash would have voted.
Ashley's not fucking voting.
She would have voted.
Tracy, do you vote for
Tracy?
industrial land?
Industrial land for sure.
In the yellow? Is everyone voting yellow?
It's the first time she's voted with me all night.
Yes.
Go home with you in a half.
We're all saying yellow, right? We all said
Yellow.
yellow. Yellow's fine.
Yeah,
Yellow for industrial.
Sounds good.
God damn it. Let's throw the show in there, huh? Back corner, make everyone walk through the park.
Yeah, could do that.
You can do a variety of different shows up in there.
All the seats are half little 55-gallon drums.
Sure.
That you sit on and they vibrate.
Stomp arena, love it.
Stomp
Yep.
arena, blood drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do anything from just like the fucking show, any theme, but you could do like a metal show. You could do whatever you want. That's where that.
You could
So is
do
this
that's
where
where-
our big show
Oh my
is
God.
going to be?
You could do
Yeah, it's like
Return
our
of the Living Dead.
amphitheater
That happens
area.
like the
You could
collection
do Return of
and
the
the
Living
fucking
Dead
thing drops.
show in there.
Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck we want.
I'd do that.
That's
That's all
our.
I do.
Absolutely, that is.
That
a
is
great
where
one.
the
That's a
amphitheater
solid
that could not be related to industrial. It can be whatever the hell we decide. But that is where the amphitheater is. So I think that means what? One house.
What goes better with metal, rock and roll, Return of the Living
So
Dead?
with the amphitheater being back there, what do we want? Do we want a house,
Perfect.
like a house and a ride, or do we want a house in a scare zone? Like
Well, I think you gotta have a scare zone in this one, and I mean you can have just 55-gallon drums all over the place and just have people pop up.
through the drums.
Through
So
the drums.
well, it's got a scare zone
Well, but
automatic.
if you're going to have an industrial area, you have to have a ride that goes through the industrial area. That just makes
Yeah,
more
we-
sense to me. And then you could
we
do a
had two of
walkthrough.
them.
You could do it as a
had-
ride/house.
So a
'Cause
ride
you're
in a
walking
house.
through,
Technically, I have like
and then
5
you
rides.
end in
Yeah.
the ride.
Five minutes.
5 rides.
That's what I had
Did
in
you
there.
guys-
but-
I know he took one out, but
Did you guys hear my suggestion?
No, I heard
Make it
you.
a house and then walk through, and then as you're coming out of the house, you're into the ride.
Yes.
Tie it all together one.
Giant
I
thing.
agree with
Because
that.
didn't we do that previously? We did one where it was
so.
a maze, and then you ended up on the boats and
It
the
was like
water.
rides.
Yeah, we
Oh,
yeah
I think we
yeah.
did do that with one, huh?
So a house/ride.
See, I like that concept because when you're queuing up, you have stuff to do.
So then you're 1, 1, 1, and 1. Yeah.
Yep.
No, yeah.
Okay. We need a billionaire to like back us. Because this needs to get done.
The whole round, year-round horror park.
Oh yeah, that's what it would be, is year round.
Yeah, it's great.
And then during October, I figured you would build mazes of properties that aren't, or even if there is, because even if you had the Friday the 13th ride, you could still build a maze based on one of the other films.
Yeah. Get your picture with me.
Okay, Charlie. We have 4 lands spoken for now. The red, green, blue, and yellow. So the gray, purple, or orange are still available. Cool.
You're up
Yes.
for debate.
I'm cool with that, yeah.
We
Just let
are
someone
now
pitch
on John's next land pitch. Go ahead, John.
Okay.
It would be your counter argument. That's why I'm saying
My
okay,
counter
Charlie.
argument.
So if he comes up with something
The
that
only thing I
you
want,
are,
I'm going to shoot it out there right now, is I just want it, and not just sci-fi, I want it to be outer space. But
yeah, you
no
fucking blew
Jason-
that, Charlie.
no
you voted for the
Jason
industrial
X.
thing. You voted for the industrial thing. So now who knows
Well,
if outer space will be on there?
Well, I'm voting for it right now. Can I do that?
No,
Can I just
no.
interject
Well,
before
we
John
got to
gets
listen to
going?
what John's thing
I only
says.
have 2 more themes, and there's 3 left.
See?
So
I could stick in outer space right now.
John, go
or
ahead.
at the end, we could collab on an outer
Okay.
space thing.
Go ahead, John.
All right. So next, I have Santa Carla Boardwalk on Amity Island. So it pays homage to boardwalk and beach-themed horror. The entrance has a light-up old-style boardwalk
Andrew
sign
predicted
art.
it right. We
Next to that.
so the spoiler alert is we about half an hour before everyone started showing up. I said, Kane, what do you think John's gonna pick? What do you think John's thing is? What is he written out? And Andrew's first thing out of his mouth was water, something water horror.
Anyway,
And so
think about all
now
the horror movies from
an hour and 20 minutes in. I mean, the odds were not in Andrew's favor, but Andrew, John, you made him a winner right now.
Cool.
Congratulations, Kane. Good job, Andrew. Come on.
I know my friends.
Good job.
Damn,
I don't think he deserves it.
Jesus Christ.
Alright.
I mean, water. That's
I mean, the
pretty
next-
general.
Well, no, I said
One of the elements.
Next
I
week,
said deep
next
sea.
week,
Ocean.
Oh, you said deep
next
sea?
week
Yeah.
when he calls you old and you're
No,
like,
they do
oh,
deep
come
sea.
on, and everyone's like, yeah, you're being a dick, Andrew. Now, I mean, we got to point to the
Andrew.
season premiere where you just shut that down, Charlie.
The sand is in here.
Shut the fuck up.
No, it's not. The sand is
I
not in
automatically am not okay with this.
Oh, wow, the sand. Wow, we can bring that one back. Yep.
I will not watch that.
No.
again.
Patrice or whatever the fuck his name is. They got stuck in the barrel. You know that black
Oh,
guy.
yeah, that big
Yeah,
dude.
you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Fuck. What's his name?
No, I mean, he was a comedian, maybe not by choice.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Because
Patrice, the
Well,
guy who
he-
was in the office.
Oh, no.
no,
He's, what's his name from Always Sunny, isn't he? Is that the same guy?
a landslide.
Yeah.
It's a landslide.
Wow.
I don't think it was the same guy. I mean, that guy. I think the guy in the sand is way younger than landslide. Yeah. This is the part where Andrew IMBDs it and finds out he's wrong and doesn't mention it again. Fast
Why the
forward.
fuck would I know?
Fast,
Is that the way that works?
yeah, fast forward about 3 minutes.
Sand was
We'll
a
get
pretty
there
awful
eventually.
movie.
So anyway, okay, Amientville Island on
The
and
Santa
then-
Carla Boardwalk on
There-
Amity Island.
There we go.
So the land itself is a small recreation of Santa Cruz Boardwalk, including the Giant Dipper and delicious deep-fried boardwalk food. On the backside of the boardwalk is a pier area of the land. Along the boardwalk is the Us walkthrough attraction. Enter the shaman's vision quest and venture deeper down under the boardwalk to find a whole community of doppelgangers living beneath us, ready to rise up.
Did you write this before or after last Halloween Horror Nights?
Just wrote all of this.
I wrote all this. I've had all these ideas like for years,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've just written it all down in detail recently.
Gotcha.
Also along the boardwalk is various shops including Frog Brothers Comics and Collectibles. On the other side, in the pier area of the land, is set up like a wharf and dock. Inside of a boathouse, the ship Orca sits docked. The boathouse also serves as the entrance to Jaws, a slow-moving interactive boat ride. And then I Know What You Did Last Summer meet. Inside one of the boathouses would be the boat Billy Blue. And next to it you can meet the killer in his black rain slicker and hook in his hand.
Sorry, John knows.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
He's had that for a while.
while.
Also, I have the Fog Experience. It's located inside an old radio station on the pier. As you and others pile inside the station, a fog starts rolling in from the water. Things start moving around in the room. The doors try to open, and inside the fog you see figures coming from the water. An immersive experience using screens, special effects, and animatronics will make you feel like you're taking part in the movie. Some other properties that should be featured in some capacity: Piranha and Ghost Ship. Piranha could be as simple as
Ghost
something
Ship.
seen
I
in the
fucking
land.
love that movie.
Ghost Ship, if there's room at the park, would be an incredible attraction. Take a small passenger boat out to explore this cruise ship that's mysteriously shown up with no lights on.
Damn, you could take
Enter
a
in a-
raft to the boat.
Enter in
and
a
it's
hole in the
maze.
ship to find it's partially flooded inside, enough for your boat to still move through the pathways. From there, the ride will be filled with plenty of scares and drops.
Should be a maze instead of a ride, though.
Should be. But basically, the main theme is boardwalk, beach, and like
Water. Yeah.
or like seaside, basically.
Yeah. It's been the setting for a lot of horror films.
So, Charlie,
Lost
do you...
Boys.
Well, that's Santa,
Right up the
Santa
Santa
Carla
Cruz.
Boardwalk.
Yeah.
That's the name
Oh,
of the
that's
town.
right. You
Santa,
already said
Santa
it.
Carla.
Charlie, do you want the beach / the ocean to be a theme? Or do you have a theme that you're worried and you want to mention right now that won't make it into one of the final
100
three?
times. I want outer space.
Okay, so you're saying, which do you want more? Do you want to say
I-
yes to the beach, or do you want to say
Well,
outer
wait a minute.
space right now?
I'm looking ahead because there's one more.
There'll be
Sorry.
one spot.
There's
left.
one spot
And
left, and
that's-
I'm just gonna slip
and
in there with outer
but-
space.
I'll
Do
definitely
you-
vote for that at the end.
Do you want to do that, or do you want outer space? Do you want the beach? Do
I
you,
don't want it. I don't. John has fantastic ideas.
what do you want more? Do you want the beach, or do you want outer space?
I want the beach to be included too. I think that's a great idea.
Charlie, I'll vote.
So
for
if
outer
But
outer
I want
space.
outer space too.
Charlie,
So
I'll vote
which
for
do
outer
you
space
want
at the
more,
end,
Charlie? Outer space
Which
or the
I want
beach?
more.
Yes.
I want both of them.
But which one do you want more?
I'm
If
gonna
you can
go-
only have
I'm gonna
one.
go with the
It's a
coalition
moot
of Charlie
point
here.
because there's going to be one slot open at the end, and I'm going to
Should we
fight
vote
like
for
hell
one?
to get
Should
that
we
outer
vote for
space.
one of the open spots right now?
Yeah, why can't we? What is
Yeah,
this?
can we do it?
So
wait till
initially-
All right, you assholes.
Wait, wait,
All right,
wait,
you
wait,
assholes.
initially
You know what
we
I
said
want the last
boardwalk.
space that he keeps talking about?
Outer
You know
space.
why? You know why I want you to choose?
Why?
Because I want that last space to be horrific network, so we can have like door to door and shit in it. You fucking asshole, Charlie. God damn it.
Jim,
So what do you want more, Charlie?
sometimes you're a little cryptic, you know?
You're talking about the
And,
horrific network could be on the block,
Yeah. You know,
and you could have ghost
Yeah.
executioners in industrial.
So let me ask you, with that in mind, let me ask you again. What do you want more? You want the beach or you want outer space?
I want both of them.
Wait, he makes a good point. Why can't you sprinkle the horrific network stuff throughout? Because it's not just one, it matches with a lot of the themes that you have. You've got the
Ghost
that
executioners
ghost
could be
executioner,
a
you
facility.
know,
Busting all the
door
ghosts.
to door could be in,
You could literally just
Hey,
send a team of people.
why couldn't
go into
Horrific
each
Network
area
have
that has a
something in
ghost
every
it,
land?
and
don't limit yourself, and you can even say this is this park presented by the horrific network.
See, Jimmy, yeah.
See, I like that idea.
Yeah,
Fuck off, Charlie.
you can have a mobile, and you can have a mobile maze. Like every you can have people running through the park.
Kenny and I literally talked about today
Everything is branded.
our fucking comfortability level with Charlie.
I said we used to be really respectful of Charlie, and then we have lost.
This is
all
like when I was like
respect,
texting
like-
Charlie, "Where the fuck are you?" He's like, 3 years ago, you would never say that.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
you would never said the word fuck around Charlie. And now you're texting, where the
boy.
fuck are you?
Well, you see me in some pretty different positions. So.
Let's put horrific network throughout the land.
okay,
Make
I
Jesus.
like that idea.
Do you want the beach? Yes or no?
I want the beach and I want outer
You can have the
space.
doorman going
Don't
from
be
door
a
to door
beach.
and the fucking
Give us the
neighborhood.
That's what I said. I was like, dude, that'd be hella sick.
You know?
So,
Industrial land, just fucking shit up.
Industrial, we can have ghost executioners.
Hell yeah.
why would industrial land be? Why would ghost executioners be the one house in industrial
Exactly.
land?
No, motherfucker, I'm sorry.
We only have one
you
house in
We have a
industrial land.
facility.
Can you imagine
facility.
the ghost executioners going from land
That's
to
what I
land?
just said, the mobile land.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be perfect.
Yeah, and they go so every 10
They're like the
times you go through a ride,
Ghostbusters. I mean, they're
you
going
can
all
potentially
see
see
all
around
they just
a
don't
different
take on
experience
ghosts.
because the ghosts
They take
executives
on
are going through the
murdering
ride that time.
spirits. They take
So they're
on
taking out
soul-busting
those ghosts as you're going
overlords.
along.
Dude, what if they
That
break
is
the fourth
an
wall
amazing way to
completely
keep people
and they're
coming
walking
back
around
every
every
time.
land like, hey, we're getting
Like, oh, I
some
haven't been through
suspicious
one where the ghost
activity.
executives are
And
going.
the
Oh my
doorman-
god,
I've
it's
heard
amazing.
people are having
That's-
nightmares, and
that's
Shalita's
it.
like, oh,
That is where
you vile beast, Freddy, get out of here!
Oh my god.
Come on. That's
That
a
is
winning.
perfect. That is
winning
like the
I don't
best
know if Jimmy's
idea.
more mad that his idea didn't work the way that he wanted it to, or if he's more mad that the shit that you guys keep saying brings all of this to fruition and then just makes it possible, but just not in his way.
Cocksucking.
I mean, he did put a ring on it.
God.
Oh gosh.
This is also years of work. Fuck.
Andrew, do you want the beach land? Yes or no? Because you want instead what? Okay, so Andrew is saying, I want to make sure outer space is in, beach, no.
Outer space will be in.
Beach, yes. And I was initially like, I don't know about the board, and then started thinking Lost Boys,
yeah,
all of
there's
the
tons of
things
stuff.
at the beach that just
Us was by far the best haunted house at
the
Halloween Horror Nights
fog,
last year.
right? The fog.
The
Yeah.
more I was thinking about it,
So
like,
much you can include is so iconic.
I didn't want us to be the best house,
No, neither did I. I thought it was going to be the worst.
Which
but
one?
it really was the best
Us,
house.
the maze at
Oh.
Halloween Horror Nights, and it was, from beginning to end, it was the best haunt.
Scare wise.
Well, the idea is scary.
The
It is. I like the idea.
I think the most fun I had was Ghostbusters and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But this like scariest two, there was that one, and then there was the Pandora's
Pandora's
box one. Like
That was
those
jump
those groups, the like the people that were inside of them, they scared me the most. The one that was fun though, I was the last person to go through Ghostbusters, and they knew like I was the last one that was coming
So
through.
they started messing with you a little
Yeah, so that
bit.
was
That'd
cool.
be cool to see them finally break character a little bit.
The dude who was
Horror
the
Nights, they like don't. It's like so like
dude who was the Solansky brother.
yeah.
Like he was like leaning over the rail, and he's like looking at me like, "Where's everybody else?" And I'm like, "It's just me." He's like, and I'm like, so that was fun. That house, the Ghostbusters house. So Universal built that Walking Dead thing, which is now closed anyway.
Thank God.
Is it bad?
It's
It was
bad.
horrible.
It's
Scenery wise, they did a great job because it was a permanent attraction.
and it looks just like the show.
But scare wise, awful.
It's not scary.
You know, it's just so disappointing that show. The first 3 to 4 seasons were so damn good.
I've heard so
fucking good.
many people start to talk about how it's good again. It makes me want to like start,
So
but
my
I just
brother's been
know.
saying.
It's hard for me to.
I'm like,
It's
I
hard
don't know
for
if
me
I'm
to go
gonna
back
catch
in
up.
without Rick and.
But now it's like 4 seasons from when I stopped, so I'm like, now I gotta like binge watch the last 3 years of crap so I can
Right.
understand.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Now we got the YouTube thing where Negan was banging that one chick that was wearing the skin of a zombie, but she wasn't a zombie. Now it like made national news right before Corona. Fuck, what if that's what started it? Yeah. Fuck. Okay, so Kane says no to the beach because he wants outer space, but Crone says yes. So we lose 3-2. The beach is in there. So should it be the purple, the orange, or the gray? What is the blue and the red?
Horrific Avenue, and the blue is the traditional Monsterland.
Okay, and then the green was the camp.
Yeah.
And then this is Industrial Land.
I would say put it in the purple or even the orange.
You do need it kind of large
Yeah.
for the boardwalk thing to work out because you're gonna have a couple of boardwalk rides, some games. You know, you can
I
have.
feel like you
What
could.
about
You
the
know, instead of
gray
like you
area?
run in one
Yeah.
I was thinking
so-
I was thinking the
smashing
gray
the
area
bells
too,
and
so it
just
connects to the
ringing.
street.
Hit it and it explodes.
Because then you have the beach,
Yeah, we have
the
some
street,
games.
and
Board
the
games.
camp, and like that whole half of it is like that 70s through even you could even really tap the 60s if you really stretched it. But if you did the gray, then you have camp, neighborhood, beach
I like that.
of all of that
Because then you could build your
70s.
boardwalk and do your water
that'd be
and
cool.
leave it. And
Or
then
then
you
you
go
go
to
to the
industrial
industrial
area.
area. Yeah.
Right.
Bye, Tim.
Bye.
By the way, so we're supposed to go in tomorrow?
Maybe. Text me.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I like that idea of it going to camp, the neighborhood, and then now the beach, and yeah, you can even stretch it to the industrial. I like that. So I think I vote for the gray. What Ashley
Gray.
said, gray,
Gray.
and
Gray sounds good.
So you're gonna
I'm in.
build this
Tracy.
Great.
like virtually? Oh, I want to see this.
I started it. I got Transylvania done, and the game started crashing on me because I put in way too much detail. So
It's a computer game.
yeah. So I've had to back down a little bit.
So that's at least 2 houses up in there.
Mm-hmm. Water ride.
I like it.
Yeah, it has to be a water
It's
ride.
gotta- Of course. It's got to have a roller coaster too. You know that.
We could
that
have the
classic.
the giant dipper.
Right,
Could be like
yeah,
the
giant dipper.
iconic thing of it.
Yeah, so there's our roller coaster. What have we decided? As we haven't, because we keep saying space on the back burner.
You know what? I'll just say space.
It's on the front
last one.
burner now.
Yeah.
So
I got one more theme to throw out.
Okay, so how many houses?
I think we're saying 2 houses and 2 rides.
I did 1 ride, water, 1 roller coaster.
Right, yeah.
Good.
And 2 houses in the scared zone.
And a scared
One
one.
scares them.
Shall we say a show? We could have like a
Do a
band.
water show.
We could do like a small show,
There's
one
already
small
one water.
show.
Like in Lost Boys, like a little band thing. Out
That's
on
what
the
I'm
beach.
thinking.
Yeah,
That
you could do
dude
live
playing the fuck
performances.
out of the saxophone.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine walking out there and just having Cry Little Sister play on that
Yeah.
boardwalk?
Oh fuck.
I'm gonna go home and watch Lost Boys tonight.
I love that fucking song.
So are we putting a show in
That
there?
soundtrack.
Yeah, I would say like
Do like
one
a live
small,
stage show,
one
like a
small stage show.
Band.
You guys keep talking about it.
Lots of NXS fun.
Alright, I think Sean should pitch his next one.
Jimmy's in the bathroom. Did he pause it?
I don't know.
No, you say go.
No.
Well, the last one I don't have a lot of detail on. It's literally extremely basic, but it's easy to everyone to throw in ideas on this one. It's a pretty generalized idea.
Okay. It should be interesting. I'm still waiting for post-apocalyptic. Parts of that industrial.
Does that include zombies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Gotta have zombies.
Gotta have zombies.
Did you have scare zones for?
I feel like we need more ghosts. We don't have a whole lot of ghosts.
You can put ghosts anywhere.
Ghosts?
Ghosts are
Then I
going
said, yeah,
anywhere. They
ghosts
can haunt
can
anywhere.
haunt everything.
They can haunt cabins in the woods.
Right.
They can haunt houses on their industrial places.
House on a hill in the back of one of those.
Yeah. So you could do House on Haunted Hill and you could be part of all that.
That's right.
Well, let's do the Haunting of Hill House because that was better.
Could do that. The big mansion. You do Lock and Key.
Oh my god.
Have you watched
love that show.
Lock and Key on Netflix
Oh my god,
was
it's
good.
so good.
It was good.
It's kind of like
Does
a
it start
kid
off
show.
kind of like a kid show?
Yeah,
Because I
but
started
yes.
it and I stopped. Because I
Yeah.
was like,
No, keep going.
going.
Yeah, let it go.
because it seemed a little
Lock and
like
Key.
adolescent.
Signed for 4 seasons.
It's
Oh,
like
shit.
it's like a more family version of like Stranger Things.
Okay. Alright.
What show is this?
Lock and Key.
Oh,
It's great.
Because initially the old dad was bugging me. I was like,
Yeah.
ah.
okay.
Alright, so final themed area that I have is Raccoon City. So it would be a big city
Zombies.
zombie post-apocalyptic land. So you could do Zombieland, Walking Dead, Dawn of the Dead. You can have the mall there, where you can have the Savini motorbike ride.
Anytime you come out, you have to be desanitized. You have to be sanitized coming out.
I gotta be Dusk Till Dawn, like fucking,
Yeah, you do, yeah.
or Devil Blood that shit.
So I'm gonna say no to Raccoon City, to the zombie thing, just because we've done zombies before, in favor of international.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Okay.
So horror movies that take place outside of the continental United States.
Okay.
It's a good one.
As long as we can get some zombies and industrial,
Probably could.
Return of the Living Dead.
I mean, that'll be a
Return of the Living Dead, exactly.
that could be a nomination or a scare zone nomination.
Right.
Okay.
Your theme park can be a zombie land like on the beach.
That's what I actually have as my transition. Going from the beach and the boardwalk to that is Zombieland.
Right.
Okay.
What do
So
you put in international lane?
what would I put in international land? Like
Justin
you want me
wants
to pitch?
details.
Yeah, details. Like,
You want me to pitch the entire land right
yeah.
now?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have like.
Just Reader's Digest version, just a couple
Oh
of
my God.
anchor
The
points.
Babadook?
I just need to
Well,
anchor points.
yes.
Where's the map at? So international land. So we've now kind of come to the conclusion that the last two lands are going to be space and international land.
So purple needs to be space and orange needs to be international.
Yeah.
Yep.
For as
I
much
was-
as you guys have been throwing space
Yeah,
out
'cause
there,
space has gotta
wanting
be a big
space,
land.
space needs to be
Space would be purple because it ties into the industrial thing. So that still gives you the option to do the Wayland ride thing
Yeah,
that
was the
John's
ride
been
that-
fucking
you
talking
get on that
about.
ride and it takes you into the space land.
Right.
That's how you transition that.
And the heavy international Transylvania flavor would be when you open, which makes sense for orange to be international land. International land, if you didn't want to waste the industrial haunted house on, say, Hostel, you could put it into international land.
Okay.
So that'd be like a small version of Epcot, where it'd be
Oh,
like
man.
boom, boom, boom,
You
boom,
could do
boom.
Predator on the fucking
I wouldn't even change
the space land and
the overall.
You could.
Yeah, I guess so. You could change the architecture, like because with international, you do have the European, you have the Asian, obviously, you have the
Mexico.
Mexican,
Oh, so you have
La
like,
Llorona,
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth.
La Corona.
Pan's Labyrinth.
From Dust Till Dawn.
That sounds
everyday life. You can have that in international land.
Do what was it? The
Corona.
La Corona.
spring.
Spring. Did you watch that movie?
It's pretty fucking.
I interviewed the filmmakers of that movie back when we were starting this show. It was an interesting movie.
Yeah, you do the fucking the fish guy, the fucking
Del Toro stuff?
yeah.
We're talking about.
We're not doing the Shape
Shape
of
of
Water.
Water.
Yeah,
Shape of Water.
I can tell you that's a no.
It's more of a love story than a horror movie.
You know, I
Absolutely.
couldn't make it through it. And I was looking forward to it.
I
and
love
I
the
didn't-
visuals of that movie
I
though.
didn't like it.
It was, I just watched
My
it
favorite thing is the soundtrack.
purely for the visuals. It
I
was
knew
just
you
so
were about to
amazing
say that.
watch
Yeah,
it.
I love the music.
So anyway, are we all in agreement that the last two lands should be international
Yes.
and outer space?
See,
Outer space. I was waiting all night. Outer
I hope you realize what you've done, Charlie.
space.
Charlie,
Outer space.
Charlie.
Charlie.
Jim.
I hope you realize what
I'm right
you.
here, Jim.
I hope you realize what you've done.
What have I done?
That guarantees in season 5.
No.
We
There
will.
are enough movies that we don't have to watch that
no.
one.
We're
So
not
go
slipping
fuck yourself.
that one
There's
in
tons of
there.
options of stuff we could do instead of
We will discuss in depth
Who watching?
because we are watching. Absolutely, Jason X.
Jason.
We are watching.
It's gonna be you and Justin.
How are we gonna watch
Yeah.
I'm bowing out of
it? We
that
couldn't
one.
even watch it last time.
Charlie, you're not
What if
gonna
we get
even
King
know
Potter
when
to
you're gonna
come?
watch.
Watch it.
Yeah, remember.
So I would look him dead
That's
in the eye
pretty
and tell him that I
sinister,
think the
Jim.
movie's garbage and walk away.
So I would say that both international. Okay, so outer space. But let's say both of these are three and twos. So outer space is a 3, 2, and are actually, you know what? Let's even change it up. They're both 2 and 1s. 2 houses, 2 rides,
Okay.
1 restaurant, like a fun little restaurant discussion
What about your scare zone?
for each of those, and then they both
They
have
all-
a scare
they all
zone.
have scare zones.
2,
The
2, 2,
international one would be hard to do for a scare zone.
2, 2, 2, and 1.
It'd have to be something
Sounds
that would work
good.
in between all of them. So maybe
But
cut
what,
out.
what about if you're up, cut out the scare zone in the international and do another
Did you
house?
say Puka?
I did.
Puka's not international though.
Why? He could be. You could program him to speak different languages.
That was the other thing I was gonna say. Holidays, but didn't make it into the map though. We're done. What? Okay, 2, 2, 2, and 1 for each.
But one of the houses in the lane could be Krampus.
It could.
On the international, you gotta have like druids.
Internationally, you
and
could do
it's like, You have
Krampus.
to
Yeah,
go
you
back
could,
to like
yeah.
to the anchor of Halloween. Like
But
Saturday
now we-
and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
It is locked in. So Ashley,
2 rides for each.
we said 2 rides for each. Yep.
No scare zone for international.
Yeah.
What? No.
No, yeah, it's got 1 scare zone, like just a
To
central
go-
scare zone.
That's gonna mix in with all the different.
Oh, you could do
We gotta
that.
figure it out,
You know what
dog.
you could do?
Even if we write it
The scare
ourselves.
zone would be in international cemetery.
No, get the
No.
hell out of here. We can do better than that.
We can. I mean, there's plenty of.
Okay, 2, 2, and what's the one? Restaurant.
Restaurant, yeah. Each of them we got to come up with a cool idea for a restaurant.
I think the Irishman, that hole in the ground, right?
No.
The Hole in the Ground? That movie. You talking about that movie that we played at the state, The Hole in the Ground? There's
I
no
like that.
there's no restaurant in that movie.
Huh?
There's no restaurant in that movie.
I'm just talking about.
Ashley, can you do us a favor? Can you tally up the houses, the rides?
There has to be a Bavarian pretzel, a super Bavarian pretzel.
There you go. The houses, the rides. We know there's 7 scare zones and the
So we're in the
shows.
park. We're eating a goddamn pretzel.
A giant pretzel.
We're shaping history right now, Charlie.
I'm excited.
And so is
I
the
am
same
so
rules
excited.
apply that we can't do stuff that's already been a maze, or are we doing it to where we can do stuff?
So that's what we have to vote on right now. So, I'm going to go through the list of titles that we have mentioned, okay?
Wait, so has Jason X been amazing before? So we can't. But
I'm about to go through the list of titles we have mentioned. Thank you, Kane. Appreciate the enthusiasm.
I'm very enthusiastic about not watching that movie ever again.
Well, I wouldn't get that enthusiastic. Because I already knew, Kane, when I brokered that deal with you, John actually likes. So, Dream Warriors, Door to Door, It, Killer Clowns, Hatchet, Death Troopers, Annabelle, Repo, Are You Afraid of the Dark have all been used. That's one. Dracula 2000, 13 Ghosts, 30 Days a Night, The Nun, Treehouse of Horror, House on Haunted Hill, Hitchcock, Night of the Living Dead, Drag Me to Hell, Gremlins, Leprechauns, Eight-Legged Freaks, Into the Dark, Pet Cemetery, La Llorona, Behind the Mask, Terrifier, Marvel Zombies, Joe Bob Briggs, The Last Drive-In, Pet Cemetery, The Legend of Hell House, Puppet Master, Jason Takes Manhattan, It Chapter 2. Those are all titles that we have said before. So, do you want to say that any of those are eligible to, since it's the 5th year, to be re-looked at? Or do you want to continue our rule of if we've done them before, we should not do them again? Kane says if we've done them before, don't do them again.
I say we do them all except for Jason X.
Yeah, just as
Jason
long
X
as we
isn't
don't
on
do
there.
We
Jason
have never
X.
let it through yet, guys.
Yeah, but it was something we
After
already
to-
previously
after
watched,
today-
right?
If you are going to repeat something, do the Joe Bob Briggs drive-in as a feature once or twice a week, like a drive-in thing on the beach.
You could always put it in the amphitheater.
I say we could do things again, but as long as it's not the same thing that it was before. So if it was a maze, we can't have it as a maze, but either a ride or a show or something.
Okay.
Come up with something
Something
fresh,
new for
something fresh on the idea.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because
Kane.
I know there's things where it was like, oh, it'd be cool as a show, a maze, and this, and then we
I'm
went with
still
one.
all for Let's Try New Things.
Alright, so Kane says no. John says yes, but it can't be what we had talked about it being before, Charlie.
I think we do well when we try to pick new stuff.
Charlie says no. Justin.
Let's go with new stuff. Okay.
Ashley.
I like that we can change it because we had some really good ideas of things being rides. That
You always have good ideas, goddammit. We'll continue to happen.
We've covered quite a bit in 4 years.
Yeah. It's the 5th. We'll cover more.
Alright, so
I think that changes the dynamic of what you guys have in place already because you guys.
Oh.
Would you like to know what we need to accomplish
That's
first
exactly
before?
why. No.
Oh, wait, that's a good point.
That's
because
why.
we have
That's
a lot
why
of these
I'm
things
okay with
already
this
there.
because we haven't had a lot of things that we've mentioned, which is good. There have been some, but it also eliminates those from being even contenders when there's a lot of shipping to each land.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a lot of
but-
variety.
Process
But
of
wait,
elimination.
But wait.
But now if
let's-
we're looking at space, we've done Leprechaun, we've watched Jason X, so we can't do that one again then by your guys' standards.
No, we won't.
No, we
we
have
won't.
never. Jason X has never been included.
And they've never been
Leprechaun
on
in
land.
space
But you
has
guys
been
watched it as a
included.
Campfire Chronicles, right?
That's not what we said though. If it's been included,
But that would be the same thing. If it didn't make it in before, it shouldn't be brought up again.
it can be though. All we said is if it hasn't been included before,
So here's what I throw out to you.
then it can't
For
be
your
re-included.
beach boardwalk land, out of the stuff that we've watched already
We'll
and the
get
stuff
there.
that's out
You
there.
get to-
Wait. Just hear me out. You've heard everybody else out. Out of all the stuff that you've already watched and the stuff that's still out there, how much content do you have?
We don't know.
Realistically, how much beach movie boardwalk content do you have?
Oh, actually,
We've-
we've find so many terrible ones we can watch.
Yeah, we've only done the sand on this show.
Yeah. And we haven't done Lost Boys.
Yeah, we could.
We
do
haven't
Lost
done
Boys.
Lost
yeah.
Boys. We haven't done.
We haven't
Us.
done
And
Return
literally,
of the Living
how many do we
Dead.
have in that land? Like 2, 3 things? Like we've got.
Okay, so here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 14 houses, 7 scare zones, 12 rides, 2 shows, and 3.5 restaurants.
So
Okay.
what about this?
A season's worth of work.
If you're gonna throw something out as a repeat, it must be voted unanimous. If it doesn't get a unanimous.
We're not voting unanimously, dog. If it's majority, then it's in. Did you just hear what she said? Say it again.
14 houses, 7 scare zones, 12 rides, 2 shows, and 3.5
No, I'm
rides.
saying
Yeah,
if
there's
we're
7 of us. The second it hits 4, I don't give a fuck what the other
I'm
3
saying
have to
if you
say.
wanted to repeat, if you want to use it as a repeat, it has to get a unanimous vote. It has to be so good, everyone likes it.
I will never.
No.
About that.
It only has to be good enough that 4 out of the 7. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah,
So I would
14
watch
houses.
Yes,
Jesus.
that's what I'm saying.
So
Right. So with that being said,
That's 30. I mean, we're probably about 40 something movies, right?
okay,
They all have
but
to be
here's
shit we haven't used before.
there's gonna be ones we say no to. There's just going
So
to
we're
be.
just gonna quarantine like in their underpants and watch these together and just be like, nah. Yep.
What?
I don't think you have to be in your underpants.
That's not how you guys watch movies. Sorry.
I think
So my thing is if you go back and listen to all the ideas that we had in our head and based some of these lands off of, if we did other things, some of these items wouldn't work. So we have already a Springwood diner with a camp mess hall. So you're gonna have to find a Horrific Avenue movie and a Camp Horrific Land movie that you can utilize together to make that happen in order
we
to
don't have
keep
Freddy
what
and
we've
Jason.
already.
We don't have Freddy vs. Jason, right? We never had Freddy vs. Jason as a movie.
No, we have not
Yeah, I
discussed.
think 90% of the things
But
we
they made
mentioned
it.
tonight.
They made it a maze.
Did you?
It's been
We
amazing.
it's been that has been one of the rules before. I would
Yeah.
say that is a rule that needs to be taken into consideration just
That's what I
because
was
we've gotten to
asking
the
about,
point
was that
now
rule.
where the majority no longer have been to Halloween Horror Nights, so it's harder. So I would say that into mind, we've got to consider those movies when they come up.
Yeah.
I know just because
So-
I feel like I know that the 3 of us, having been to Halloween Horror Nights, those are the movies that we probably wouldn't throw out first anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, unless
But,
we wanted it as a ride or something.
right.
So that's another part of this decision that we haven't discussed that we need to discuss before everybody makes their decision. Because in the past, we've not been able to utilize anything that's been turned into a maze elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that needs to be decided first before we actually take our vote into consideration.
No,
Because
I
that
would
changes
say-
everything.
I would say that the way that we voted tonight was more along the lines of that. So if it hasn't been, or if it has been a maze before,
So if
because the only ones who are going to know that are the 3 of us.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
it's been a maze before, is there a movie that you wouldn't want that was thrown out tonight, or just in general?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
I don't even know
What
what
you talking
getting
about?
at.
If there's is there a Halloween Horror Nights movie maze based on a movie that you would say no to right now?
This is the end.
So this is the end. So if anybody nominates this is the end, then we're not. No,
Yeah, no.
that'd be a great one to go from neighborhood. to
there's not one that you wouldn't mind us nominating again.
No, because we can't have James Franco.
Right.
Because I would like to see some of those mazes. Well, but that's the thing is,
You can design
Something-
it however the hell you want
but
to
something
design it.
that
I'm
they've
just saying.
done a maze for, I might like to see that movie turned into an attraction or like a restaurant or something.
Right. That's yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but I
fine.
say if it's already been a maze, then we can't make it a maze again.
But is there a movie that you wouldn't want to see come up at all?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
All right. So you can nominate anything except This Is the End.
Okay.
That's all of them.
So next week, which land has the most houses? Also, we've also discussed that the Ghost Executioners, which will be our short that is already out, episode 1 of is already out of now. We've said the Ghost Executioners would roam for the 5th year, from land to land, interacting with the various houses and attractions that have yet to be named.
Wherever there's a ghost, the executioner.
Does Draken get to Rome as well?
I don't know if I think Drakic should be stationary in one of the lands. We can discuss that.
How
As we
about,
move.
Basically, the Ghost Executioners would be the main icon.
I have an idea. Why don't we change it up every night, and you have to, as an interactive part of the park, is you have to watch what the Ghost Executioners are doing because you have to figure out what land Drakic's in.
Oh
Find
shit, he
Drakic.
rotates to
That's-
each
where's
land.
Waldo?
Yeah, that's
You gotta
pretty cool.
interact with druids walking through the park.
Yeah.
You gotta interact with the druids, you gotta talk to the Ghost Executioners, find out what their goal is, where they're headed. You gotta get clues or key points from each one of the characters in order to bring it all
They're
together.
at the Transylvanian village when you first walk in on a case.
Where's Drakic?
Gotta find love.
Because then that makes your executioners interactable.
Yeah, that could be the giveaway. The little HHN giveaway, line giveaway. Find the
Get a business
executioners,
card.
they get a business or a bumper sticker or something.
Flyers.
Yep.
Which land has the most haunted
The
houses?
Horrific Avenue.
That's
With
one
three.
that has 3 houses. One scare zone, one ride, and then it has the
Which
Springwood Diner with the mess hall.
so that's the Horrific Avenue land.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week the first movie that we're gonna watch is I think we should watch The Woman in Black.
Ooh. It's a good choice.
I'm all about that.
On a block, I think there's nothing creepier than a marsh. And guess what, folks? It also, after we watch it, we'll, if we decide yes, it should be a haunted house or some kind of attraction, we'll debate whether or not it should go in the Horrific Avenue or the International Land.
Yeah.
So The Woman in Black will be the first movie that we watch next week. We thank you for listening to this supersized, overcharged season premiere of season 5 of the Campfire Chronicles. Again, I know shit is pretty scary out there, coronavirus, but at the end of the day, just be nice to each other and collectively, eventually we will get through it. Don't buy all the toilet paper. There was an article that said the average person had to poop like 8 times a day to use the amount of toilet paper that the average person was hoarding currently. If you're pooping 8 times a day, you have something wrong with you.
You probably have the virus. Go
Or
get
fucking
From-
tapeworm.
So be kind to one another.
Check on your elderly neighbors and family members.
Yeah.
And those who
Without
have compromised
physical contact
immune
with them.
systems.
Yeah, don't be touching or breathing on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're sick and you are one of the few who are still getting to go into work, go ahead and if you are sick, stay home. Don't get anybody else sick. It's kind of a dick move regardless, but especially right now.
Be the match that.
Just be respectful.
So yeah, next week, regardless of whether or not we are on lockdown and we're having to record over Skype our thoughts on The Woman in Black, or if we are live and in person around the table again, Woman in Black will kick things off movie-wise for season 5. Will it land in our virtual scare park? Will it land in the Horrific Avenue, International Land, or at all? Stay tuned. Campfire Chronicles is back. The hottest horror debate show out there on podcast.
Building parks.